Hello, everybody. This is another Q&A on Cloudy Club. Today, I'm excited because we're going to talk about packing and shipping. And I'm one of those people who I love watching those like packing and shipping videos of other artists, clipping their little tape and wrapping up their products and stuff like that. I think it's super, super cool and just satisfying to me, and like a notebook kind of girl. I like I'm not, into scrapbooking, but that's something that I think is really cool to watch other people do. But anyways, so when you are shipping out your products, which you will have to do if you are going to sell any artwork online, which I know is a lot of our goals, is to sell our work online in mass quantities, hopefully, so we can make that money. But you're going to have to put it in the mail and ship it to your customer because, you want to be ideally shipping your work to people all over the world or in your country, to say the least. So I have never done international shipping, so we're not going to talk about that in this video, but I ship all over the US, and international shipping I'm pretty sure is not as complicated as people make it out to be. I think you just pay a lot more for international shipping. And I ship everything through the United States Postal Service, so you can go up there and really just ask them, and they have all the answers for you if you're confused. I would actually suggest doing that over Googling it, because the internet is just fucking confusing sometimes, and just asking a real person who works in the industry is a lot more helpful. So I'm going to start with a couple tips. I have on this table here, that you can't see, a bunch of my supplies for a print that I'm going to be shipping out, and also a mug I will be shipping out, because paper prints are a lot easier to pack and ship than something that is 3D. So I'm going to go over both. But first, I want to talk about a few tips. So in the beginning, I would pretty much just find anything that I could put my product in to ship it safely and send it on its way. And while that is functional and that works, it's really not the best way to do it. And now I've since graduated to having like a whole system that I do before I send anything out. So one of the tips I'm going to give you today is make it branded. So, and I feel like branding is such an empty word, but you want it to be consistent with your style of your artwork and your business. So I've ordered a lot of art from other people as well. And I've bought things in shops and things like that. But when you order it in the mail, some artists' work I feel like was disappointing in the delivery, and others were super, super cool. So I've kind of taken that advice from those experiences and combined them. So when you make something that's branded, it's way more exciting to open. So for instance, anytime I ship something, I ship it the same way to every customer. So I have these mailers that I send, so they're white. And if you pay attention to my artwork, you'll notice that if there's any background to it, it's either like fully colored in, like my personal hygiene painting, if you've ever looked at that, or it's like this one that we're going to be shipping today, and it just has a white background. So things that are bright and white are pretty on brand for me. Like, here's my calendar. I'm working on my calendars right now. If you guys have been following along in real time, you'll know that my calendar sale just ended, and it was super successful. It was honestly the best product launch I've ever done. So very proud. I posted that in Cloudy Club in the Art Wins. So, but anyway, so here is another example of my work. The moth, white background, my logo, white background, this. So it's very like white and cool toned. This is something that is like was a full background photo, but still light background, white background. So the mailers that I chose were white because that's pretty on brand. You can do a standard like cardboard or black, or you don't really have to color it if you don't want to, but I just think it's way cuter and it's a way better experience for the customer if it is on brand and if it's cute when you open it. So I use a white mailer, and then I will put this on the outside of it, which is my logo. I have a couple different iterations of my logo, but this is the one that I use because sometimes it's just a cloud and sometimes it's an empty cloud that's just white. But this is the sticker that I will put on that mailer so that when they receive it in the mail without even looking at who sent it, like my name, they don't have to look for that. They can just see my logo and know this is my print, this is my thing that I ordered, so they can be excited about it. So definitely branding is cool. And also I will include these little things in here, just like a little something extra. Like I've gotten prints from people who don't include anything extra, and while I got exactly what I paid for, it was kind of underwhelming. And I don't know, I don't want to be the underwhelming guy. I want to be like, oh, there's a little surprise in here. So I will also include on the inside, I'll include another sticker that has not been stuck to anything, so you can actually use it, put it on your laptop, put it on your locker at work, or whatever. And then I also will include this little note, and this is something, you don't have to get it professionally done, people are just gonna throw it away. So I actually just went to, I don't have a printer yet at my house, but I went to my mom's house and printed this out. And it's just a little thank you. So it has, if you can see, it has my picture on here, it has my logo on here, and it says thank you, and I'll read it to you. It says, "Thank you so much for your purchase. I appreciate every single order, and I could not do what I love without your support. You mean the world to me. If you aren't part of the group already, make sure to sign up for email updates to keep up to date with new artwork and special deals just for you. Sign up at aclubcloudy.com." So, and this uses my font that I use everywhere. I use for my artwork, I use for, it's literally my handwriting, but I just made it into a font online so I can type with it. So that's very on brand, that looks on brand. It literally has my face on it, which is part of my brand. And it's just a special personal message for me that I made up and I wrote and I include in there. And it doesn't have to be professional. I just put, you know, printer paper that I printed out at my mom's house, and I cut them out individually. Like I said, it's just a cute note to surprise your customer, and you know, they're just probably gonna throw it away afterwards. But, and then I also will include 1 or 2 of my business cards, which these are a little outdated to me. I bought them in bulk, which we're gonna talk about later. Buying in bulk is great, but I bought them in bulk. So they're a little outdated because I got like 1,000 of them, and I haven't really given away them all. Now, if I were to redo them, whenever I run out of these, it's not really that big of a deal. Whenever I run out of these, I will probably use my font that I created instead of this font that was just generated by the computer. And this is actually the drawing that I used before I designed my own logo. So I used to not have a logo because I couldn't decide on what I wanted it to be. I didn't really have like a actual, you know, I wasn't fully committed to A Cup of Cloudy. So I just used this little mushroom drawing, which was actually my very first drawing that I ever made digitally. And I was super proud of it. I thought it was super cute. I still like it, but it's definitely not my logo anymore. But I just put it on here on my business card, and it has my name. I put watercolor and digital artist and muralist for my titles. I don't actually do a lot of mural commissions. I do love them though. And then I put acupofcloudy.com, my personal email, which now I also have an updated email, and then my Instagram handle. So that's just a little something for branding that you can put in there, just a way that people can contact you. So if they want to look you up online, they can. They have, you know, somewhere to follow up on with you. Again, like how I have on my little thank you note. You know, sign up at acupofcloudy.com because you want to give them a little something extra. You want it to be on brand, and putting that in there, like, oh, I got my print, like I love it, so cute, cute packaging, they're happy to open it. Like, have you ever seen those unboxing videos? Those are so satisfying to me too. So those unboxing videos are very nice. I know that things in like the makeup industry really put a lot of effort into their packaging, and I feel like every small business and every artist, any creative entrepreneur should really put a lot of effort into their packaging, because it really goes a long way for customer experience, especially when you don't have a physical store. So it's not like you walk into the store and it smells nice, and you walk into the store and there's beautiful windows and natural light shining in, and a cool, you know, customer service rep like greets you at the door. Like, there's none of, you can't do any of that. Like, there is no special touch unless you put that special touch into your packaging. So it's really important to keep it on brand and to make it look cute. I also will, on the surface of this mailer, I will put, you know, obviously their address, my address, but I'll write a little handwritten thank you on them as well, so that they know that you know, thank you, really, like I hand wrote that one. So just a little personal touch, a little branding, and make it look cute, make it an experience to open. So I think that is really, really important for shipping. And then also along with that, on that same line of thought, make it consistent. So for one customer, they shouldn't get this beautiful, like branded, like cute experience opening your package. And then the next customer gets like a shitty, you know, recycled box with, you know, a newspaper wrapping around it, which I actually used to do that. And, you know, no shame in that. I actually was at the time very proud of putting my mugs and more 3D things into recycled boxes, just things that I shipped and I ordered and got to my house. I'd keep the box, and I used to work for a newspaper. So I had a lot of newspapers around, and I would wrap it in that and everything. And it never looked the same, and it always kind of looked like trash arriving at your door. And some people really appreciated that because it was recycled, and that is, you know, a lot of people value that, as do I. But it just never was a cute branded experience. It was not the same for every customer. Everybody got a different experience. Sometimes it was a really cute box with nice packaging, and sometimes it looked like recycled trash showing up on your doorstep. So you really want to not do that. You want to give everybody the same experience opening it. So say, for instance, somebody watches a review, say, for instance, you know, those YouTubers online who will do, you know, review of products. If somebody were to review your product and they ordered it and they did an unboxing video on their YouTube channel, would it look the same for the next customer? Would every single unboxing be the same? It should be. Every customer should get the same experience when they order your work. The same customer service. Do you email them when you've received their order? Do you email them when it's shipped out? Do you email them when they should have gotten it? Or do you not? Because I email people when, well, it's kind of automatic with my WordPress site. I set it up to be automated, but when they order it, they get a confirmation, and then when it's shipped, they get a confirmation. I don't track whether or not they should have gotten it by now because I do USPS. So it's not like when you order from Amazon and they tell you literally 30 seconds after it's on your doorstep that you've got it on your phone. I don't do that because the USPS doesn't do that. So just whatever the experience is, keep it the same between every customer because you know, you don't want to throw anybody off. You don't want them to have high expectations when they watch that unboxing video and then it looks like trash on your doorstep. So keep it consistent because that's good branding, that's good business. So let's talk about materials. This really will differ for you depending on what you are making. So for me, all of my originals are prints because my finished product is a digital file. So normally I will, like, this is my finished product. It is this print here. I make them all, I put it in this little waterproof thing, but I make them all 8x11. So they're usually all the same size and they're just on cardstock. This one's a little glossy. I tested gloss on this one. So this is a lot easier to ship than some other things. Like for instance, if you make custom artwork and they're on giant canvases that are like 4 feet wide and you know, it's different every time, this is not the video for you because I mean, the same things will apply, but it's going to be so expensive for you. I'm sorry. Because these things, they cost about, you know, $2 to ship. And I will like buy these in bulk. So I use these mailers, which I think I got about 100 of them for $50. So they're about 50 cents a pop for these. About the same deal for these little waterproof sleeves that I buy, and you can, they seal shut. I don't know if you can see that, but you rip off this little piece and it seals shut in here to make it waterproof. And then I will use these, which actually this bubble wrap I will collect because I still have a part-time job at a grocery store, and the spices actually come in with, because you know they don't want to get squished, they don't want to be because they're fresh spices, they want to be protected, so they come in this bubble wrap, and I actually just steal it from my work because you know we just throw them away. So I will take those and use that, so that's free. So definitely be scrappy with it if you don't want to pay, especially because I do love recycling and I really like loath to buy plastic things like that. If you can find them free somewhere, if you have a friend who works anywhere that has like boxes or whatever, you can do it that way. This is something that doesn't really matter that much for branding, and honestly, the basil comes in this every single time. So really every single day there's a new basil box that appears at my day job, and I can just steal the same one every day. So just be scrappy with it. Use the resources that you have at your disposal. You can find these things cheap. I have heard of people saying that they get free boxes from the Postal Service if you go online and order them, because they want to create an incentive for you to use the US Postal Service instead of using like FedEx or something. So they will give you free boxes. I, however, did not choose to get those free boxes because, like I said, I wanted certain things to be branded and I want certain things to look nice for my packaging. And the free ones have, of course, like USPS all over them, and they're just not cute. And these are 50 cents a pop. They're really not that expensive. So that's what I choose to use for my prints. And then, of course, I'll stuff these into the waterproof container that my print goes in. And you can fit a lot of different things in here. Like my calendars that I make will fit in here. They don't really bend that much, so it won't get damaged. And then for the mugs, what I buy is this, I think I got a box of 50, and they come like this for easy handling, but you can unfold them, and then you can fold these in, and you fold it, and it makes a little square box. And then I just will wrap my mug in this bubble wrap and then put it in here, and then I use that for shipping. So this is less branded, and I did this for cost saving things. The white boxes, because I looked at them, the white boxes were like way more expensive than these. So these were, I think, instead of like, I think they were more expensive than the others. I can't remember totally, but maybe like $1 a pop. Yeah, I don't know, but so it's really not that expensive when you buy them in bulk. Buy in bulk, buy in bulk, buy in bulk. First of all, when you order these supplies online, you kind of have to buy them in bulk. But I think you can order as little as like 10. Don't buy just 10. So for instance, last year is when I bought these boxes for the mugs. I bought way more than I needed because I knew next year I'm going to make mugs again and I will have these same boxes again. So definitely save some money by buying in bulk. And I mean, go with the free ones at the post office if that's what you want, if you're looking for cost effectiveness more so than branding, which, as you can see, I did choose for these brown cardboard boxes. That's fine. Just do whatever fits in your budget at the time. Yeah, it all works out fine. So that's what I suggest. But if you are going to be shipping something that is huge or that is very, very fragile, okay, so let's talk about safety. You want your products to be safe. Recently, I decided to, because normally I just ship them in paper, you know, they're not framed or anything when I send them out, but I recently did an Instagram sale for framed prints because I did a garden show this summer, and I had some prints left over and I bought frames for them. And I was like, well, I might as well just sell them with the frames in because that just makes it easier for people. I can charge a little bit more. It's more convenient for them. So I sold a few that were framed, and I thought that I did a good job in wrapping them up. And I literally like paid so much money for shipping because I got a bunch of styrofoam and a bunch of bubble wrap. I literally at the post office like put them in 2 different mailers to make sure that they were safe and sound. And about 50% of the people that I sent those framed prints to texted me and were like, yeah, that came broken. So then I had to refund some money. I think I refunded them about $10 each to replace the frame because they weren't like that expensive frames. But still, like that's a hassle. For one, your customer gets the print and it's broken. There's broken glass everywhere. They're just like opening it and there's broken glass everywhere. And they're disappointed. It's unsafe for them to be handling all these glass shards. And it just looks bad, and it's just disappointing. So definitely make it safe and make it safer than you think it should be. And that goes with waterproofing as well. I'm so big on waterproofing. I will send even my pins. They don't really necessarily need to be waterproofed, but I'll send them in like little Ziploc baggies because I don't know, you know, the mail service, they do their best, but they are carrying that around. They walk outside. Like we have a walking mail person who will walk door to door in our neighborhood, and sometimes it's raining out, you know, and sometimes when you drop it off at the post box, I don't know, water gets in. And I'm just paranoid about that. I would never want anyone to receive a soggy product because it's kind of like the glass thing, except for less seniors. It's just gross and disappointing. So I will put my prints in these waterproof slips, which you can also buy online. I think I bought like 1,000 of them or something for not a lot of money. Maybe I'll link some of the products that I use underneath this video because it'll make it a lot easier for you. A lot of things I did just look up on Amazon and get the cheapest option because price matters, especially when you're buying 1,000 of something. So I will put like these little cards in here so that nothing gets soggy and everything looks great when they open it. And then I will also put it in this cardboard mailer, which I don't know if you can tell in this video, but it's a little glossy. It has like a wax coating on it. So that also helps water wick off of it so that it doesn't get damaged. So make sure it doesn't bend if it's paper. Make sure water doesn't get in it. Make sure if it's glass that you really, really, really secure it, because the Postal Service and probably FedEx too. I've never really used them. I've never bothered to, but people really just handle your things not as delicately as you personally would handle them. So just keep that in mind. They don't know what's in the box. Even if you put Fragile on it, I put Fragile on those glass frames and it still ended up being handled a little too roughly for my taste. So yeah, make sure it's safe. Make sure it's branded. Make sure you buy things in bulk when you're getting supplies. And even if you think, oh, well, I don't sell that much, or, you know, I only made 20 of these mugs, or, you know, whatever, like nobody really buys me anyways, buy more than you think you need, because you will need them in the future. Even if it takes you 3 years to use up all those supplies, buy them in bulk, because for one, it gives you an incentive to sell more so you can fill those. This wasn't a waste of your money. For two, when someone unexpectedly buys a lot of stuff from you, like sometimes I'll have people that will get something for gifts for their whole family, like they'll buy like 8 mugs at a time. So if I only have like, you know, a handful of spare cardboard boxes laying around, I suddenly don't have enough and I have to order more materials to my house before I can ship those out. So their shipping time now is super long, and that is not good customer service. It's not a good experience. So you want to have those supplies on hand, even if you're like, well, I probably won't need them, because what if you do? What if you do? You know, and you want to be prepared and have those extra supplies on hand, because that has happened to me too. And that was, they never said anything about it, you know, but I personally knew that normally my shipping time is very short and it was very long for that customer. So definitely keep things like that in mind. And then also it just sets you up when you expect that you are going to make a lot of sales, and so you buy a lot of things that you can ship out those sales in. I feel like it's good vibes. You know, you're telling the universe, I'm about to be making a lot of sales, you know, and I feel like you want to put that energy out there so that you can get it back. So that is pretty much all of my advice for shipping. I do mostly prints and pins and small things. You know, shirts will fit in that mailer too, I found, as long as there's like only one of them, because they're not really that big. But find something that works for you. If you do something that's consistently the same size all the time, like my prints are always the same size, it will be a lot easier for you than if it's custom every time. If it's custom every time, you're gonna have to find a new box every time to put it in, or you're gonna have to pay someone personally to deliver it, or you're gonna have to like wrap it in huge blankets depending on how big it is, you know. So I mean, definitely if you are looking to scale up your business and really sell a lot of things online, I would suggest making things uniform in that way. Like the art that I create, it looks different a lot. It's always different subject matter and stuff like that, but when I can produce it as a product the same every time, not only is it super easy for people asking me questions, oh, how much are your prints? I don't have to say, do you mean 8 by 11, or do you mean like 40 by 50, or do you mean like, you know, I don't have to ask them to specify all my prints are 8 by 11. unless like special ordered, you know? So keeping it uniform is really easy for customers to understand. It's really easy for you to order shipping materials, and it just makes it way easier for pricing and everything like that. So I would suggest if you're looking to scale up and sell your artwork online to make certain things uniform, it just makes it easier for everyone and for you. So that's all I really have for shipping. I get a lot of questions on it. I don't think I've made a blog post on it. I think I've maybe talked about it in some of my emails on the email list, but maybe I should make a blog post because I feel like people are always asking me about this, and it is something that I've had to learn over time, and paying for shipping is confusing when things weigh differently, which is why, unless I can fit it in like a little those like letter mailers, little traditional envelopes that you can just pop in the box down the street, you know, we have like a little mailbox that you can pop it in. I go up there and they weigh it, because you never know how much you actually have to pay until they weigh it. Like if there's 6 prints in one thing, it weighs more than if there's 1 print in it. And I don't want to overpay by putting like a million stamps on there when really I only need to pay like $1.80 or something, you know. So yeah, if you have any questions that are specific to your area, I would honestly go up to the post office and ask them. They're pretty nice usually to me when I have weird questions. They will do their best to answer. They never say like, go check online. Like they always will just give it to me straight, say it's based on weight, or this is how much our shipping materials cost, or you can find it cheaper on Amazon. Like they're really helpful up there. So don't be shy to ask them. That's how I've learned a lot of my stuff, honestly. But I do trust them to weigh it and to give me a correct price when I go up there instead of prepaying. I know a lot of people do when I'm standing in line up there. I don't like to prepay for some reason. I like to like watch them take it, but a lot of people prepay online, and then when you go in there, you just drop it in this little cart that they have, and someone will take it to the back and sort it like they do. But that means you have to weigh it at home, I'm pretty sure. Like you would have to have your own scale and weigh it at home so that they know what the price would be. And then you'd have to answer certain questions like, is there any hazardous materials in here that may break? And usually it's just no for me, because I'm like, this is a mug, there's ceramic, you know, it's not like a fire hazard. But you'll have to do all that online too, which I've never done that. I'm sure it's pretty easy online. Also, I will say, with something that I have encountered as a problem, one time they lost my package, and all of the things that I've shipped, they've only lost it one time, which is pretty good. And it was a small order. It was a couple of pins, and I remember it was the very, very last of the hang in there pin, which I've actually restocked them now, but it was the last time that they got stocked, and it was the last one. And so this girl ordered a bunch of pins, and that was in there, and it got lost in the mail. And I remember calling the postal service and saying, hey, like I lost my package, can you retrieve it for me? And they asked me for the tracking number. It was a small order, and it was worth like $20, so I didn't think to get insurance or tracking on it. And they just flat out told me, if you don't have a tracking number, we don't know where it is. So if it's important to you, get a tracking number. They actually did end up, I filed a thing online, and she said that it actually ended up going to like the wrong person, like maybe her neighbor or something, and that they mailed it to her, and that was fine. It ended up being fine, and she got the pin, and I didn't have to like restock that moment because she didn't get it. But if it's not that important to you, don't pay for tracking, don't pay for insurance. Like I said, I could have just restocked them and given it to her. And if it's something that I have multiples of and they lose it, I will just flat out send them another one. I won't even bother with the postal service if I don't have to, just because it's quicker and it's easier and it's good customer service. But if it's a situation where you have to ask them, like if it's an original painting or if it's the last of its kind, definitely I would get tracking on it at the least, and you can get insurance too. I've never got insurance, but get tracking if you want to, because that way when you call them like, hey, you lost my package, they'll know exactly where it is and they'll be able to help you. So that was very frustrating on my part because I didn't bother to get that, and so they were like, well, no shit, you didn't pay for tracking, how would we track it? And I was like, damn. So be mindful of that for sure. So yes, I think that's it. So if you sell things online and you will be shipping them, this will be super useful for you. Definitely, I will post some of my products that I use, some of the materials under here so you can look at them. So this has been a super long video, and I think Zoom only allows me to have 40 minutes in here, so I gotta get off. But it's been really cool talking to you guys. I love these Q&As, and tomorrow is Work in Progress Wednesday. I finally finished my November cozy art prompt, so I posted it in there. It's a little fireplace. I love it. It actually did not take me that long to do, which is great because I was trying to do October's and it just was taking me forever and I just hated it after a while, so whatever. So yeah, do your Work in Progress Wednesdays tomorrow. I will be posting mine. It'll probably be these calendars that I'm designing because I'm still designing them, even though I already launched and sold many of them. I'm finally designing them. So, all right, guys, it's been fun talking to you. Happy selling this holiday season. Happy shipping. And I hope this leaves you well. Bye.